We had so many chances to score more goals, to control more of the game, especially in the first half. Sometimes it's hard to understand how we are going to miss so many opportunities, but in the end we won. Let's move on.
How important is it for you to get your first Premier League goal for Manchester United?
Yeah, of course, I'm very happy with this. We win at the end as well, so it's even better. And for a striker, obviously, it's important to get confidence with goals, and yeah, I'm very happy.
And there was never any point when you worried about whether you'd still be here for the next match?
No, I know, guys. I know sometimes it's me that start that. Again, I'm really emotional, and it's good for you guys, so you have fun. I understand, because to be boring for you is not an option. So I will try to continue.
We started the game really slowly, really slowly. I'm immensely proud. Second half, we was a real threat and was really worthy of our goals. Disappointing with how the game ends, of course. That's the way the game's gone now. Obviously, we're becoming a very sterile game. The on-field decision at that time, the ref didn't give the foul. So I don't know whether it's clear and obvious. That's the rule. And at that moment, we've re-refed it with VAR, who obviously sees it as a clear and obvious error. But it ain't the ref, it's a fella 200 odd miles away in a van who's decided it, really. So that's the way the game's going, and we understand that.
You can maybe understand his frustration with the bloke in the van 200 miles away. But was it a penalty for you? Let's deal with that first.
I think it was, when we look at all these different angles, and I think for me Amad was brilliant for Manchester United. He caused Burnley a lot of problems with his direct play, but also giving and going, and I think as soon as he passes that ball to Bruno and he gets into the box, Anthony, I think for me it's a mistake to try and grab him, because I think Hartman's there to help him. I think the key thing is, chappers, the ball's going back into Amad's path, but also as soon as he grabs the shirt pull continues into the box. So for me, I think once you see that, it becomes a little bit more clearer. But I understand Scott Parker's frustration.
And they do take into account the path of the ball and whether someone's going to get there. Ruben Amorim didn't look, just like he didn't at Grimsby, but they do take into account the path of the ball. Yeah,
I think it's important. I think if Amad's got a chance of getting there, and I think with his pace and him forward running and defenders recovering, I think he gives himself a bit of a chance, and maybe that chirp pull really hindered his movement to get on the end of the ball. The
thing from Manchester United's point of view is there really should have been, as kind of both managers alluded to in their interviews, they should have been home and dry after the first half.
Well, there's a lot of criticism after the Grimsby performance, rightly so, for the manager and the players, and I think what all United supporters wanted to see today was a reaction in the intensity, in the passion, in the desire and the quality, of course, and they certainly got that first half. And you're right, the game should have been put to bed. There was many good performances. This ain't about tactics, this ain't about that element of the game. This is simply who wants to work hard, make tackles, close people down, and then who's got the courage to play the courageous passes and try and open the team up and risk making mistakes. He was unlucky in Bruno there. Brilliant pass from Fernandes after Mount had won the ball back. Sometimes this is the quality I'm talking about. You have to be switched on. You're at home in the Premier League. You've got to get the fans excited. Mount was exceptional in the first half. Again, closing Walker down here. This is the one where they actually gave a penalty, and then they changed their mind on that one, rightly so as well. I thought that was the right decision. Bruno setting the press. Mateus Cunha thought he was good until unfortunately had to go off injured, putting pressure on Burnley. And if you do that against anyone, you're going to get the fans behind you. Of course, set plays, they got their reward for all their good play, but this is the desire to get in there and win headers. Casemiro's good at that. They get a bit of luck, but they deserve that bit of luck after their performance. And I thought Amad as well was terrific today. Doesn't always play the position he wants, but he was sharp with the ball. He was great without the ball. And this would have capped off a fine first-half performance from Manchester United. Maybe Mbeumo could have gone himself. And
that is a difference to last season, isn't it? That energy and press, that is different.
Well, they've got more legs. If you looked at the starting lineup, if you think of Mount, he's always been good without the ball. Cunha's quick, strong, and Mbeumo's quick, strong. So you can be more athletic.
And yet, they nearly threw it away in the second half. And look, there's so much criticism of the system, or the tactics, or the manager. But I know you both think here, sometimes the individual has to take the responsibility.
Today, for sure, I've been a big critic of the system. I don't think it suited them, and I'm still not sure about it. Today, that wasn't what in question or why Burnley got back in the game. Excuse me. The first goal was poor communication. ill discipline at the back in terms of organisation, and that's on the players. Ruben Amorim can only do so much. Look, desire to get back in. There's 8 back in their own half, all running back to get back in position to help their teammates. De Ligt's one of the 3. He follows Foster out, who makes the run. Right decision. Don't try and play him offside there. Diallo has now switched position with him. Now, that's OK, because they're still in a good shape. Now, this is where the problem starts. You can see the 2 men on the right, Foster, De Ligt and Diallo, confused. De Ligt is saying to Diallo, get yourself back out there, because he doesn't want to be out there, of course. He's a centre defender. Diallo going, I'm not sure what you want me to do. What day is it? Too late. Poor communication. Now, not only does Diallo not get out there, De Ligt lets Foster go. Now he needs Shaw to help him out, because he's switched off just for that second. It's only milliseconds. It's a beautiful ball, but there you've got 2 centre-halves marking no one, and Dallo's 15.
I think, for me, this sums it up. I think this is from a long throw, Kyle Walker, long throw. Casemiro's job is to stop the flick on. Bruno Fernandes is probably doing 2 jobs, maybe marking the players on the edge of the box, but the most important thing is communication, organisation, especially between them 3 centre-halves and your goalkeeper, knowing where your players are, being ready for the second balls and the drop down and being first to it, and that's Burnley's equaliser, and that could have changed the game for Man United in the long run.
So you have sympathy for him in those situations?
I do.
Yeah.
They're international players.
Individual players, I think, experienced players, played a lot of football. I think in their moments where you can really control situations, they need to be better.
You've just kind of argued with yourself, haven't you, there? Really?
I enjoy that.
I know. Well, if
do you know what? I think this is the second show I've done.
Yeah.
And I'm praising United again, because also I've got to say, when you go 2-2 at home and the crowd get a bit deflated, they win again. You know, they really pushed on and they got the winner at the end. So just let's leave it at that.
All right. I mean, if there's one pundit who's going to praise United, you'd be near the bottom of my list. If there's one pundit who's going to argue with themselves, you're right in the...
So when Bruno stood over that penalty, and obviously it was a long, long wait as VAR gave it, I was looking at you, and you were facing the other way, looking up at the heavens or whatever it may be. In that moment, what are you thinking is at stake for you personally? Honestly, I mean, with the way it's been...
I don't like to see penalties, but I like to see the image of the fans. But I was just thinking that what it has to be, and you understand sometimes one moment can change a lot of things. But in that moment, I just was thinking that it's fair to win this game. And Bruno, I was not expecting Bruno to miss 2 penalties in a row, so I was really confident.
It's been week of the penalties, hasn't it?
Yes, today was a good day for us.
Look, I'm gutted. The way the game's ended. But I think my riding thoughts are, and my riding feeling at this present moment in time is nothing but really proud of this team. We struggled first half, and we could have been on the end of one for sure, and Man United come out the blocks, and we found it very, very difficult. We managed to stay in the game at 1-0 at half-time, changed a couple of little things, but asked to go again, and I thought we showed, like I said, I've been around a few teams in my time. I was immensely proud of that second half performance. I thought we showed an endeavour, we showed some quality coming to a tough stadium. So gutted, of course, because we're gutted with the result. We was inches away from getting something out of the game, and it didn't pan out that way.
Right, so much to get through regarding this late Manchester United win. Let's go back to the overturned VAR decision when Mason Mount and Kyle Walker were sort of going at it into the box. Rachel, what did you make of this? Is this the right decision?
For me, it's the right decision. I think Kyle Walker gets himself in a little bit of a pickle here with Mason Mount getting, a block and his ball down the line. I think in the end, we see here just the bounce of the ball, Mount stretching is getting under control. I think at this point he realises he might not quite get clear control of it, and his best bet is to try and use his body to get in front of Kyle Walker and then play for a foul. For me, it's more of a coming together. There's not a clear motion to sort of foul him or grab him. I think it's just the two come together. So for me, that was the right decision that wasn't given in the end.
Harry, what do you think?
Look, it's interesting because everyone has their own take on penalties. But for a player that's played in an attacking role in football, when you do get that opportunity and you do coming across it, defenders get all handsy, they try and get in front of you, and what you try to do is you try to get your body in front of them. Now again, Mason's not the first one to realise where his body position is. Now he knows that as long as he gets his leg across him, there's a chance that Kyle may actually bring him down, and I think that's what he did. So, look, I think it's unfortunate that got turned around.
Well, Kyle Walker was involved in that incident. He was also involved in the incident that led to Manchester United's first goal, which was an own goal. But, Harry, should this free kick have been given in the first place?
Well, again, no, because, again, it's a strong challenge. Don't get me wrong, it's a strong challenge. He's got the ball. I don't think he's actually clipped him at all. It's just one of those that have just gone over the top of it, and he's made a meal of it. But, again, great delivery, great header on the ball. And again, it was just that kind of reaction of what United were looking for, and it was unlucky to get the rebound.
There's nothing really Cullen could have done there. Is there, Rachel? It comes off the bar so quickly, he's almost turning around and...
No, it's a horrible one for any player. You got to be in there, he's trying to do his job, it comes off of him. It's just one of those ones that you unfortunately just have to suck up.
Yeah, well, Burnley did well to get themselves back in the game. It was Lyle Foster, but question marks over why he's got that much space.
Well, again, you're talking about two top-quality defenders there in Luke Shaw and De Ligt. And now De Ligt's obviously in the left-back positioning there, so I don't know why Shaw's actually drifting out towards him. And again, if you look at the whole situation there, everyone's got their man. Casemiro's got a man. They're all got their man. But Luke Shaw's just drifted out there, and the striker's just drifted into the perfect area. Great cross, right? And, sometimes you can't defend a great cross, but the finish was excellent.
Yeah, it was excellent. Now, obviously, we spoke about that defeat to Grimsby in the EFL Cup. Brian Mbeumo was the player who obviously missed that deciding penalty, but this was probably his best game for Manchester United. He was the best player on the pitch for them, and their goal was a great response straight from kick-off.
Yeah, and I think he's the sort of signing this summer that United fans will be really excited about, along with Cunha, of course, but we saw how incredibly effective he's been over the last few years in the Premier League, and this is what he does. He loves to be in the penalty box. He's alive. It's really sharp movement. You see him there just peeling in the back. He draws the Burnley defence into the goal, and then because he's moved, he's been on the front foot, it allows him the time to then check back, and that's just an easy finish for him. It's a great goal, and one he will thoroughly enjoy, especially not just because of the midweek, but you want to get up and running, you want to get on the score sheet, and good goal for him.
Yeah, and Burnley did well again, Harry, to get themselves back in it once more and make it 2-2.
Again, long throws are definitely coming back into the game. And again, it's important that you actually win the first contact, and that's what Burnley did. And once it goes across, again, we all know at the moment, Man United are fragile, especially at the back. And if you let that ball bobble around, they get the shot off there and anything can happen. And look, it's what they're going through at the moment. Nothing seems to be dropping for them, but Burnley have done well to get back into the game. And I think first half they weren't there, but second half they deserved to get something out of the game.
Question marks over Ilkay Bayındır there, trying to parry that, maybe not straight back into the mix.
I mean, not just him. Sometimes I think with these long throws, it can be difficult to deal with. But sometimes I think that United have all 10 players, outfield players in the box. Sometimes I think having more bodies in there makes it harder. Because all of a sudden you're thinking, oh, my mate will get it, you'll get it, or they'll get it. Like, how is it possible that the ball sort of ricochets 4 or 5 times and every time it's Burnley that get... That can't happen, but I think that sometimes can be the problem. I don't think the goalkeeper does particularly well at all. It does deflections in front of him, but I just think that's such a sloppy goal, and these will be, not today, but these will be the sorts of mistakes other teams will capitalise if United keep giving teams the chance to do so.
And I think that's what we've seen from this United team, is that they look shaky at the back. So again, any opportunity now, whether you're a passing team or not, let's just put it in the box. Because they're afraid to defend properly.
Yeah, see what happens. Well, Jadon Anthony was the guy that got the equaliser for Burnley, but deep into stoppage time. Now, I suppose this is a bit of a controversial one. A penalty was given by VAR for a shirt pull on Amad. Harry, what are your thoughts on this decision?
When I first saw it, I thought there's no way. I get the fact that people are turning around saying he's pulled the shirt, but if he's pulled the shirt, what we spoke about before, how's he falling forward if he's pulled the shirt? And even his running strike for me. Now, again, it's up to the referee to make that decision, and I get all the rules and all that, but if you're pulling someone's shirt and Ahmed's, like, he's deceived, whatever you want to call it, he's actually got into that box there and he's actually closed his legs up together and just fallen forward. Now, if you're getting your pulled shirt, and there was a prime example in the Chelsea game where Chalobah got his pulled shirt, you see him actually going back. He's actually gone forward. So I don't see how that would have been impeded.
With Jadon Anthony, why is he? That's so unnecessary, isn't it, to make that decision to pull his shirt, especially with VAR? Did he need to do it?
Yeah, I think that's probably what I would say to it. It's incredibly soft. But it's a ridiculous thing to do in that scenario, and especially because I'm not actually that convinced Amad was going to get it, and even if he did, it was not particularly. You're not thinking this is going to be a goal. There's times in the game where you've been in that position, you think, I'm in trouble here, this is my last resort, I'm going to try and go for it, see if I get away with it, who knows. That wasn't one of those situations. He didn't have to do that, and unfortunately, with VAR you get away with very little.
Yeah, and very, very late on, obviously, the penalty was given. Bruno Fernandes missed one in the Premier League against Fulham last weekend. He made no mistake scoring twice in the shootout against Grimsby. But, Harry, there was a lot of pressure on this one.
And it's surprising because usually he's cool, calm, collective, but you can see that the pressure, not only himself, but the manager, the club, the fans, they need this. And I think you can even see by his reaction after scoring this, he is relieved that he's put this in, because it was a big ask for him to step up there, especially missing against Fulham. I know he scored a couple midweek, but again, there's a big ask for him to step up there, and this is what you need from your captain, to be able to step up, lead from example, and get your team over the line.
Obviously, Ruben Amorim against Grimsby was sat in the dugout, head down. He was sort of in the dugout again, but looking up this time. What do you make of the way he watches his team take penalties?
Yeah, I find it personally a little unusual. I think it's probably a reaction to the pressure he feels, and he must feel it, and that's, probably unimaginable for a lot of us, but he does draw attention by doing these things, and I do think he does them because he feels the discomfort of the situation that he's in, because today was not a good performance by United. They found a way to win the game, which I do think is important in its own right, but it's going to be a really difficult season if they don't start to put a few more of the pieces of the puzzle together.
Is this papering over the cracks slightly, this result at home to Burnley? You could see the celebrations that Bruno Fernandes, the whole team did after the penalty. It was a result they needed, but it feels like they've still got a lot to do to get to wherever they want to be.
I think everyone's looking at United, and I actually watched a couple of games of their pre-season games, and they actually looked all right. I think there's something there. But again, it's just the complete lack of confidence about how to finish the game. And again, I've studied the game a lot, and I'm still sometimes wondering how they're playing. And it's just whether the messages are getting across to the team and that they're fulfilling them. So again, there's responsibility everywhere. But again, the manager's got to be out there. And again, I know you're saying about the penalties and all that. You want your manager to be on the front line, and you want to know that he's supporting you. You want to see him watching, because that just shows me that he's not confident at all.
Yeah.
And to do that, you're looking at the man that's leading your club. You need confidence.
Yeah.